This video is part of our home theater design series where we will cover how to mount your front projection screen. If you're thinking about starting a DIY home theater, mounting the screen and your projector may give you some pause, but there's really no need to worry. With the right knowledge and some of our tips, you'll be able to install your first screen just like an expert. When we begin our discussions on home theaters with most people, one of the very first questions that comes up is, how do I mount the projection screen? Well, the answer is actually just 5 simple steps. So step 1, find the right location for your screen. Now this actually could be the most important step, especially if you have more than one row of theater seats. You want your screen to be at a comfortable height, but if you have more than one row, you have to think about the sight lines. What are sight lines in a home theater? Well, they are the line that runs from each person's eye position in your theater to the bottom, top, and sides of your screen. Usually, the one you have to worry about is the one that goes to the very bottom. Now, what affects sight lines in a home theater? Well, there are 3 main variables: the distance from the screen, the riser height, and your riser depth. The seating height of your theater seats have some influences, but we see that mostly in couches, chairs, and home theater seats. They have a very similar seating height. To get your sight lines correct used to be a long exercise in geometry and a fancy drawing program. Well, here at Audio Advice, we wanted to make this process simple for just anyone. Our free home theater design tool will let you input the data about your distance, riser height, and riser depth, then show you the perfect location for your home theater screen. While you're using the tool, it also helps you find the right size screen for your home theater and give you help with the speaker locations also. Once you have everything plugged into the home theater design tool, it shows you the distance your screen should be off the floor, and you can go ahead and move to the next step now that you know that measurement. Alright, step number 2, assemble the screen frame and do a dry run without the screen material. So you're going to want to lay out some large blankets or something to cover the area where you're going to be assembling the screen frame. Frame assembly will vary by brand, but most of them have 4 pieces that attach together that hold the screen material. So unpack your screen, put the material in a safe place, and then start assembling the frame. Okay, so we got everything unboxed. These are the 2 mounts that are going to go on the wall. We have the screen material off to the side for now. How you're going to know the top and bottom here is you're going to see these brackets, which are going to clip onto the mount that goes on the wall. And then if you follow me down this way, you'll see there's magnets over here which will hold it against the wall. So that's our bottom, and the other side is our top. Now we're going to attach all of the sides together, all of the corners, and how we know it's correct is you're going to see a 2W, 2W. So just match up those corners on all sides, and this just slides right in, and you're going to want to make sure it's nice and tight like that. And you're going to take your screw, and it just one single screw tightens in right there. So go ahead and do that to all 4 sides. All right, so once you have the frame assembled, I just want to make sure that this is perfectly square. So we're going to take a measuring tape and measure from corner to corner this way and corner to corner that way, and it should be exactly the same. If it's not, you're going to want to loosen the screws a little bit and move it around and make sure they're perfectly flush on all 4 sides. Stuart does a great job in making heavy-duty construction, so they should be perfect, but again, just double check before you get the screen up on the wall, and it's too hard to change. All right, so the next step, we need to find the very center of the wall or where we want the center of the screen to be. So we have the tape measure across the entire wall, and we've divided it in half so we know exactly where we want. We're going to place a piece of tape there so that we know, and then what we're going to do is take a level and draw a line straight up so that when we hang the frame, we actually know where exactly the center of the screen will be. How the screen will hang on the wall will also vary by brand, but most of them have you mount pieces to the wall first and then either hang the screen or mount it to those mounts on the wall. You'll need to look at your hanging hardware and figure out how far off the floor it needs to be to have your screen material at the right height that you actually calculated in the first step. This can typically be done by attaching the mounts to the frame while it's still on the floor. Measure from the holes where the screws will go in the mounts down to the bottom of where the screen material will be. You can then add that number to the height the bottom of the screen will be off the ground, and that will give you the exact height from the floor to drill your holes for your mounts. Using either drywall anchors that are rated to support the weight of the screen, or line the mounts up with the studs in your wall, hang the mounting hardware on your wall. It's important to use a laser level or long level to make sure your mounts are perfectly level with each other and on the wall. So right now, depending on where your studs are, we're just moving these brackets that slide along so that they fit onto the mounts on the wall perfectly. Now hang the frame on the mounts and go ahead and move on to the next step. Step 3, make any adjustments you need to get the screen level and in the exact location you want it. So measure from the floor to the bottom of the screen to confirm that you are at the exact right height. Put a level on the screen frame to make sure it's perfectly level as well. And finally, make sure the center of the screen is exactly where you want it. Now, some screens have magnets you put on the wall to hold the screen. If this is the case with yours, now is the time to install them after you have confirmed all of your measurements. Okay, so we've got the screen hung up on the wall. We matched our painter's tape on the screen to the center line of the wall here, and now we're going to go ahead and find the magnets, and you can actually loosen them and slide them left and right. So we're going to slide them directly on the studs here so we can mount the magnets on the wall, and that way they will clip in and hold the bottom of the screen in. So we're going to do that right now. Step 4, install the screen material on the frame. Put the screen back on your blankets face down. Now carefully unroll the screen material over the screen frame. Most screens have snappers or some sort of insert to get it tensioned very tightly around the frame. You're going to want to check your manual to see what they suggest starting in the middle or in the corners for the easiest assembly. This is the one part where you will need some patience, as the snaps or clips can be a little tight to get on since the screen maker wants the material to be very tight fitting. Alright, if your specific screen comes with tension rods, after you've installed the screen material, this is the time to add those on. All you're going to do is put the screws in each side and get them, and this will keep the screen nice and tight and so that there's no bending or flexing in the actual frame. All right, step 5, hang the frame back onto your wall. Now you should be able to hang the screen back up carefully, and it will be in the perfect spot since you took our advice and did a dry run without the material being installed. Now you can move on to hanging your projector, and as you might have guessed, we have an article and a video on how to hang your front projector as well. A quick audio advice pro tip. Some screens are designed to allow to mount your speakers behind the screen. Now there are two types of this kind of screen, a perforated type and a woven type. The woven type is more like a speaker grill cloth, and if you have that type, you do not need to do anything else. However, if yours is the perforated type, you can improve your audio performance by offsetting the screen about 6 to 12 inches off the front of your speakers if you have the space in your room to do this. This is where you're going to have to get creative with some 2x4s or L brackets. Also, remember to run your screen position math in our tool based off the distance and not the longer distance off the wall without the offset. Another tip is to put acoustically absorbent material around the 3 speakers to reduce sound bouncing off the screen, hitting the wall and coming back through. Congratulations, you are now a screen mounting ninja and you can help out all of your home theater friends. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your DIY theater project. If you have any questions about the right screen type for your system, please feel free to reach out to our team at audioadvice.com via chat or just give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out. And once you have your screen, if you've purchased it from Audio Advice, our tech team will be happy to help you with any questions as you go through all of these steps. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications for more DIY projects like this and home theater tours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.